Hey, what's going on, babies? What's happening? What's shaking? What's cracking? Are you having a wonderful hump day? I certainly hope so. Hey, my name is Ms.B, and along with girlfriend Peggy, we are here to bring you the live edition of a Raw Talk tonight. Our special subject is the top 5 tips to having a great relationship. Next on Raw Talk. Yes, welcome to Raw Talk Live, baby. It is on and popping. We're going to have a great time tonight. Hey, girlfriend Peggy, how you doing, baby?
I'm good. How you doing, girlfriend? Lovely Brewington.
Hey, I'm fine. I'm happy. I'm glad to be here. Another day above ground. Who can complain?
That's right.
Yeah. So we are excited about bringing you Raw Talk tonight, the relationship show that is all about you. And tonight we have 2 people who we just love, admire, and adore joining us tonight. We consider them to be family. It's Tjay and Tab James, the couple of the year as far as we're concerned. Hey, Sam, what's going on? How y'all doing?
Hello. Hey, y'all. How y'all doing?
Hey, we are so happy to have y'all in the building tonight. It's going to be a great show. We're excited about what you have to share with us because we know it's going to be absolutely fabulous.
Yes.
Absolutely fabulous. So how are you doing today? How y'all doing?
Good. How y'all doing? Is it cold up there, Ms.B?
I'm afraid so, child.
Well,
I'm
from the look of
afraid
your view,
so. Today was the warmest. Today was the warmest that it's going to be this week. It went up to 50 degrees and the sun was out and it was all of that kind of good stuff. It was nice. But baby, last couple of days I was chiseling ice off of the door handles of the car and off the front of the grill and all of that kind of stuff. I must make room in the garage for the car.
Yes, Ms.B.
But so yeah, it's chilly. It ain't like it is down there where y'all are.
Well, it's a little cool tonight.
Well, that's relative. Floridians, when it gets to be like 69, they go, "Ooh, it's cold."
Right.
But it's all good. Well, we're so happy to have you with us tonight and to share your story. So we want to kind of get started by finding out, because we want to know. The last couple of weeks, we've been talking about how people meet, and we were talking about online dating as an option for meeting people, especially now with COVID being the way it is. There's not a lot of socializing going on. But you all met and got together before that happened. So would you share your story with us, please? Let us know how you met and how things progressed to where they are today with love and marriage.
Sure. So we met on February 5th, 2012 at the 2012 Super Bowl party. So I was invited by my best friend. Her name is Tabitha also, and she was in the same motorcycle club as TJ at the time. And she told me, hey, we've been together all weekend. We went somewhere. And she was like, look, you got to go to this Super Bowl party with me. So I was like, all right, we're only going to stay for a little while. Halftime, we're leaving. So we get into the Super Bowl party. It's not a lot of people there, but the people that are there, we kind of know them. We speak, we keep on moving, But when you go, naturally, ladies, we want to go and be cute. So, you got your jeans on, your nice shirt, your hair done, your nails done, feet done, your heels on. So after a while, I was like, I haven't seen anybody. So, girl, look, I'll be back. I'm going to take these heels off and going to put my slides on because ain't no guys in here. Well, as soon as I come back in the house, here comes TJ. So TJ comes and he speaks to everybody. And then he speaks to me. And then instead of him giving me just a regular handshake like most people do, he decided he would give me a hug and said, I don't give ladies handshakes. I hug them. So I said, okay. So I gave him a hug back, and anybody that knows me knows that when I hug, I hug. So I hugged him, and then he said he walked out back where the guys were and started asking, hey, who is that?
It was one of those things where, for those that don't know, the host of the Super Bowl party was a friend of mine when in the motorcycle club at the same time. It's Nate and Teresa. Well, Nate is also a police officer. So it was one of those things where I had to show up, even though I had my own situation, my own thing going on. And I really didn't intend on going. I just happened to go and I met Tab. And let me tell you something. Anyone who hugs her, I told her after she hugged me that night and we got together, I said, you can't hug nobody else like that no more. Okay. You get them to church, shoulder hug, and put your arm around their back and pat them, and that's it. Don't hug them
Damn,
like
you
you
gonna
hug
have to
me.
teach that hug, honey.
Yeah.
Yeah, he really had to teach me, Miss Peggy, because
Yeah.
from where I come from, my mother was that type. She loved people, and so she groomed us girls to love people. So it was natural for me. We're both preacher kids. In church, you see people all the time. You grow. They become family. So you hug. You give them a real hug. And it's funny because I would always say I can't stand when people don't know how to hug. So if somebody hugged me and gave me that church hug, I'd be like, "What is that? Like, just keep it. I don't even want that." So I always hug tight.
Yeah. So from there, that hug definitely grabbed my attention.
Well,
Definitely.
let
That's
me
my
just
number one tip for the night. That's what I'm taking away from the show. Give them that hug. Hey, baby.
well, let's just let folks know who may not know Tab. They may not know Tabitha. Okay, she is fine.
Stop
Okay,
it, Ms.B.
she is fine. Everything in the right proportion, in the right place.
Really,
She
Ms.B.
is fine. And she put that on him. You know how you got put it on. She put it on him. And he was like, "Oh, just hold on just a minute. I got to claim this."
Damn, with the
And
spinning.
she wasn't flirtatious at all. It was
She was
real.
sincere.
It was sincere. It was genuine. And like I told her, she was there with her best friend at the time, and I really respected her best friend as a lady. I mean, when I tell you, she really conducts herself as a lady. So when she introduced, she was like, "Oh, TJ, this is my best friend Tab." I said, "Wait a minute, your name is Tab, and her name is Tab." I told her, I said, "Well, any best friend of yours is a friend of mine." So Tab puts her hand out to shake my hand, and I said, "Oh no, no, best
Mm-mm.
friends, we don't shake hands, we embrace, we hug." And when she gave me that hug, I was like, "Whoa, wait a minute, hold on." I was thinking for a minute. Yeah, she got me. She got my
That
attention
was
right
love at
away.
first hug.
Right away, she got my attention
Love at first hug.
with
Okay.
the first hug.
Yes, not love at
Yeah,
first sight, but love at first hug. I love
yeah.
And
it, girlfriend.
let me say this about Tab too, because I met Tab at the spot at our favorite hangout spot,
Right.
and we just started a conversation, and just she was so just beautiful and genuine, and just she was like new to things, I think, and she hadn't really came into herself. Her style wasn't quite on point like she wanted it, and
Right.
she used to say different things to me, like
Mm-hmm.
oh, I like the way you look, and so I want to be like you when I get. And honey, let me tell you, Miss Thing, she is doing it. I'm telling you, I just love her so
Doing
much
it.
just to see her grow and just blossom into this beautiful, beautiful flower that she is. But her heart was always just so raw and genuine.
Thank you, Miss Peggy.
It's just real. And I just loved her from day one, really.
Thank you.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah,
That
she's a
is so
beautiful
beautiful.
girl,
Yeah,
inside
baby.
and out.
You could be a fashion influencer,
You
Tab.
can.
Yeah,
What?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, you
Look,
could.
thank you for that. I'm gonna take that
Yeah,
wholeheartedly.
actually, both of you could. You always see the influencers on Instagram, and it's just one. It's
Right.
always and it's usually a female. But
Correct.
but TJ, you have a special style,
Thank
and
you.
He does.
I think just just like women who are curvy and voluptuous, a lot of times don't know how to put things together.
Hmm.
Like Peggy. Peggy can wear. Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah,
she be killing the
she
game.
puts
yeah.
it together now.
Yeah. She be killing the game.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Peggy be killing the game, so a woman who who has all of that going on could see her as an example and see what they could be like. And I think the same thing, for a robust gentleman, for the big man, you are it, baby. If they just need to see that example to see how good they can look, so that they can believe in themselves and take that, step out there and take that chance, because
Help build confidence. Yeah.
yeah, you make it happen. That was one of the first things that I noticed about you and admired. And I'm talking about, bro, he got the tie, he got the hanky, he got the flower, he got, everything. And from head to toe, whether it's casual or dressed to the nines for an elegant occasion, you bring it. And I think together, all you need is some help, somebody to show you how to put the video thing together, or how to do the TikTok, and do the TikTok and the Instagram thing together, and you just keep doing it. You just keep doing it, and then after a while, what happens is that the designers will notice you as you build your following, and then those clothes will start to come to you. They'll be saying, "Would you please wear this?
Wear this, yeah.
Would you please wear mine?" Because Gucci, I know, is my baby best friend. Gucci Tab best friend. Do you have?
It really is. He really it really is. Like, it's funny because it's funny that you said it, Ms.B. I did this joke like before my mom passed away. My mom always dressed us well. We're from New York, so when we moved to Florida, it was a different style. Florida dressed different than New Yorkers. But my mother always dressed us really, really well. So we always thought that we had it going on, like we were rich. Well, come to find out, when we got older, we realized we weren't. She just knew how to dress us, affordably.
Yes.
And so, as we got older, when I became an adult, working 2 and 3 jobs, and being able to buy what you want. Then, you had that little drought period where you can't really buy what you want. But in my mind, it's so sad. I told Tjay one day, I said, I cracked myself up, because when I went through that drought, in my mind, because I've always been able to dress like I want to, when I went through that drought, I thought I still could. And so I kept telling myself, I'm not really broke. I'm not really desolate. Like, I'm not really going through. Like, I'm still me. And so even in my broke state, when I went to Goodwill and bought my clothes, nobody ever knew I bought my clothes from Goodwill or bought my shoes from Goodwill, because the style was already in me. And like Miss Peggy said, when I met her, Miss Peggy was fly. Like, she was probably the flyest thick lady I've ever seen in my life. Like,
ever,
head to toe. I mean, everything in place. Like, nothing is out of place. The makeup, the hair, the nails, the shoes, the belt, everything. And I used to be like, Miss Peggy, I don't know how.
And I'm a Goodwill shopper too.
I'm gonna rock that belt too. I was like, I'm gonna buy me a wide belt.
But if I could chime in on that, let me say this. From the first time I met Miss Peggy, not only was she fly from head to toe, her personality is phenomenal. Yeah. And I mean, she's such a genuine person. And likewise, that's what I saw in my wife from the very first time we met. I told her, I don't do pretty girls, because my mentality was, y'all too much work, y'all stuck up, y'all got an attitude, you want a dope boy, and I'm not that guy. Now my story was moving here from Miami. Anyone that knows me from middle school, they'll tell you I was the kid from Miami who thought he was it because I was an athlete. Ms.B, I went to middle school with a briefcase. I was that guy.
Remember Bougie? Remember Golden?
Yeah. But I mean, my parents worked for AT&T, for over 30 years, and we moved from Miami to Orlando. Okay. I was kind of upset because I didn't want to leave Miami.
I bet you did.
Yeah, because again, I was an athlete, and you talk about I come from a big family. I mean, likewise, my wife does too. But my dad is 10 on my dad's side, 5 boys, 5 girls, and it was 9 on my mom's side. So I got a wealth of cousins, and I'm one of the better athletes. But because of where my parents worked, I was the one who, like she said, had the silver spoon in my mouth. But sports was always the leveling playing field for me. So when I came here to Orlando, I wanted to make a statement. not only I'm gonna look good, but I'm gonna play. I'm gonna get my spot, and I'm taking somebody's position on the basketball field, on the football field, on the track. I did all of that, but I love to dress. So I actually modeled for Soup City and Men's Closet. I'm gonna give them a plug. When I
Yes, go
went
right
to
ahead.
Miami, that's they had me as one of their teenage fashion models. That's when Pele and
Okay.
Fubu and all of that was out. And so, they always gave my mom and dad a discount on my clothes. So even to this day, I walk in, they just I got an account just like some of the business executives.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
Wow.
awesome.
So
That's
it's
awesome.
favor. It's favor.
That's awesome.
But
Well,
yeah, we both preachers kids.
Don't sleep on them fish stores.
Imagine
Oh,
that.
I
are
know.
you really?
We
Yeah.
really are.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
And that's probably some of the, there's some underlying things there that you all have in common that other
Yeah.
people aren't would never have. And so
Right.
that's a thread that runs through your
Yeah.
upbringing,
Yeah.
that kind of brings you together.
And kind of jumping into the kind of the relationship thing when we met, that was one of the major things for us, was not that you had to be a preacher kid, but to have some level of God or know who God is, and have a relationship with him. That was major for us. That you have a relationship with God. That thing about being unequally yoked is real.
Yes, it is.
I couldn't have married somebody who was an atheist or who believed in some other form of God. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So that was major for us. So, the one thing that we were able to do when adversity arises, even now, is we know we can go to God and we can pray together. We get on our knees and we pray before TJ leaves to go to work every morning. And I'm not a morning person. So that means I'm probably half asleep because he goes to work so early. He wakes me up, grabs my hand and say, babe, let's pray every morning.
That's
so
awesome.
we made that, even in our dating days, we made that our thing, ritual, whatever you want to call it, that we did, because it wasn't just us. We came into this relationship with children. So we have a blended family of 6 children.
Oh my
from
God.
ages 30, yes, from ages 30 to 18, literally. And so it wasn't just us praying for each other, but we had to pray for our children. Even the ones that don't live in our house, even the ones that, nobody lives home now, but they're all in their own, doing their own thing, whether it be college, whether it be just I'm grown, and so we have to still pray for our children every day, because they're an extension of us. They're a part of us. And so that same favor that God has on our lives, we ask God to have that same favor on their lives.
Yes.
And that's beautiful. That is. And you know what that assures too? That you don't go to bed mad and you don't wake up mad.
Nope.
No.
Yeah.
I tried.
Because,
Hey, Ms.B, I tried it one time though. I tried it one time. I did. I tried it one time.
Did it work?
No, she called me about 5 minutes into my trip to work, and she said, "Don't you ever do that again."
Okay.
She was like, you didn't. She was like, you didn't pray. You didn't give me a kiss going to work, and you have one of those jobs where it's not guaranteed that you can come home to me.
Yeah,
So
you're right.
whatever the problem is, we need to fix it. But you still don't do that again. And I haven't.
Right.
I haven't.
Yeah.
I know that's right. And that's an easy demand to make. We want to say a good evening to all of our friends and family who are in the virtual building with us. Catherine Coco Hurd is in the building, and she says hello. And she's in agreement with you, Peggy. Don't sleep on the thrift store.
No, don't sleep on the thrift stores. Listen.
They may have what was once someone else's old fashioned, but now can be your new fashion. And ain't nothing wrong with shopping on a budget.
Nope.
Nothing.
It's all how you put it together and make it work for you.
Yes, most definitely. And Auntie Nita is in the building.
Hey,
hi, Auntie. Thanks for chiming in, Auntie.
And hey, Coco.
And this is my dear friend Brandy Shannon, my former radio partner from 102 Jam. She said, "Ain't nothing like a good hug, baby. Ain't nothing like a good hug."
For real. Hi, Brandy.
Hey, Brandy.
You got to get that. And Coco agrees with me that that you should be a fashion influencer. That's a good thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank
That's a
you,
good thing.
Coco.
That
Thank you for
definitely.
co-signing that.
Yes, yes. And Brandy's like, well, could the fine couple step back so I can see what they're working with? Listen, I'll post something for you, Brandy. Don't you worry. I'll send you something so you can see what they're working with. Let me just tell you that they got it going on. That's all I can say. And my dear sister friend, Sinitra Hutchison, also a successful businesswoman with paparazzi in the building. Thank you, my love. I'm so happy to see you here. You know, we appreciate you being in the building with us.
Yeah.
Shoshona is here too.
Hey, girlie. Hey, sister Shona.
Thank you, my love.
Hey, you know, Shoshona and Tab work together.
We do.
No,
We
okay.
do.
Good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she has
she
a
says
funny
that.
story about us. I'll let her tell y'all that one day about TJ and I. It's funny.
Okay. And she says that you all are one of her favorite couples.
Yeah.
And Monica Wilson,
Hi,
hi,
sis.
baby.
That's
Thank
my
you for
baby
joining.
sister.
Oh, that's your
It
sister.
is.
Hey,
Oh,
fam.
okay.
So happy to have you here. You know, we appreciate that. And yes, yes, yes. And Natasha,
Hi,
Yeah.
Stank. That's another sister. That's another one up under me.
okay.
Good.
Thank
Fanning
Yeah,
out.
they're coming in the room.
Yes. Well, thank you all for being here. We certainly
You're
Yes,
appreciate
welcome.
it.
yes,
He
we
is
do.
Thank you.
it's beautiful. And Shoshona says, yes, ma'am. She'll take care of that. Don't you worry.
Yes,
She'll,
she
she'll
will.
make sure that she does all of those things. Yes, indeed. But you know, we want to talk about and I think you brought out a very important aspect of the relationship that
Mhm.
you have to be equally yoked in your spiritual belief and where you're going to go, because that helps a lot. Now I'm going to tell you too, what it helps with is allowing, because when you have a man,
Yes.
Mhm.
I'm clapping with you, Ms.B. I'm there.
when you have a man who is not afraid to acknowledge God, who has a spiritual connection, then he
Yes.
can lead. He can
Yes.
lead. You know,
Yes.
the man needs to be the leader, and he can lead. You can relax in his
Yes.
leadership
You
when
know,
he's properly connected.
and you can be, like I told TJ, I was married. We were both previously married before, and he was married for 16 years prior. I was married for 11. But like I told him, in all of my adult years, I had never got to a place where I trusted a man, even the man I was married to. My trust for him was only to a certain point. When I met TJ and got to really know TJ, I immediately, before marriage, trusted him. And I told him, I said, no matter where you take us, I trust you, because I know your relationship with God. So I know that you consult God for us on our behalf. You go to God and you ask God, you pray to God and ask him, how do I need to lead this family, my family? And so because of that, I totally trust him. I said, it's weird, as I'm 49 and I had never trusted a man in my life until I met TJ.
Mhm.
Wow. And
That's awesome.
I believe you.
Mhm.
For real, Miss B.
I believe you. And Auntie says that you all communicate. And what is the first tip? What is the first of your 5 top relationship tips?
It's the
Communication.
communication.
You
Yeah.
have
Okay.
to, I'm gonna let TJ talk, but you have to communicate. Like I am one who, in our relationship or in our marriage, I'm the one that will probably shut down quicker than TJ. But
Mhm.
being with TJ, because he's a communicator, it made me talk. He made me talk, even when I really didn't want to. Even when it wasn't about us, he made me talk. He would say, "Babe, what is it? Is it me? No. Okay. Is it such? Babe, I really don't know. It's something. Okay." But he still made me talk. And so, in a marriage, in a relationship, you have to talk about everything, no matter how it feels, no matter what the response is. I may say some things to him that might not be that most comfortable, and vice versa. But you have to talk about it. You can't leave a stone unturned. You can't, as Miss B said, go to bed mad or unhappy. Like, we don't do that. We were together, probably we were together and married. I think we had our first, we call it, argument a year ago. And what's so funny about that is when it was over, the next morning, we don't even remember why we were arguing. And we had already been together 8 years and had never had an argument. And people couldn't believe that. Like, what? Y'all never argued? No, because we met, we made a pact. Mommy always taught me, choose your battles wisely. So I always told him, babe, if you never put your hands on me and if you never cheat on me, you probably really ain't gonna hear too much out of my mouth about anything. I'm not gonna, because I'm not an arguer, so I'm not gonna do a lot of fussing. I'm not a fusser. So we're not gonna have no problems unless you do those two things. And then it's a given. I'm out.
Now
Period.
Period.
let me piggyback on that. With that communication, some of it can be just recognizing what some of your weak points are and your strong points. Let's say on the fashion thing. When we got together, we both like to dress. And I don't have a problem spending money on things that I like. But when I saw that my wife, when we put our finances together, I saw that she didn't manage money quite the way I did. So I had to map out a budget. And I said, you know what? In a sarcastic way, I said, this ain't going to be good. She was like, what you mean? I said, because in my previous marriage, in the closet, I took up majority of the closet. And so once we got together, I actually got an attitude because she was taking up just as much of the closet as I was.
And she hadn't even got started yet.
Right.
So the thing of it is recognize each other's weaknesses and strengths in that communication. So once I recognized that when something really bothered her, she would shut down. I would ask her, what is it? And so come to find out, she was having difficulty taking care of the kids because they'll be slick and they'll ask her for money. She's a mom, so she's gonna give them the money. And so I'm sitting back watching, but I'm not saying anything. So I know she ain't got no more money. So bills was stressing her out. So I said, look, I got this. So we put a budget together. And like I tell anyone, it don't have to be 50-50. It don't have to be 60-40. Figure out what works for you. Because for us, when we came up with that financial plan, things got a lot better. And her shutting down with that, we eliminated that. But the communication is a big must. You gotta talk, figure out, your strengths and your weaknesses in that communication on so many other things. You know what I mean?
Yes. And money is an important thing to get it figured out on.
It is.
Number one fallout. Number one reason couples fall out is over money.
A lot of them do, and fortunately for us, like TJ said, we both have careers. So neither of us was, from job to job, that sort of thing. We both had careers, both been on our jobs for extensive amount of years. So we both, made the income. But again, I'm a spender, and in my mind, if my bills are done, whatever's left is mine. I can do whatever I want to do with it. And 9 out of 10, it was going to be shopping, which it still is today, shopping. However, when he would see that I was broke, because I was so independent and was so used to always taking care of me, I would never verbally say to TJ, hey, can you give me $20, babe? Babe, can you give me, because the independent woman in me said, you paid your bills, you gave your kids the money, so now you just got to deal with it till the next pay period. So that was my mentality.
Yeah.
But when he sat back and watched it, he would say, okay, babe, listen. All right, I know that you're sneaking Tjay and Devontae money. Or I know, you overspent, you and Tab went on a shopping spree. Instead of her going to school, you kept her out of school, y'all went on a shopping spree. So he said, okay, so here's what we're going to do. Clearly, I make more money than you. So I'm going to pay 80% of the bills and you only pay 20%. And then you still have your money to do whatever.
And I mean, mind you, we put everything together. All of our joint bills, we put it all together. And I told her, I said, look, babe, I'm going to take on 80% of that and you deal with the 20. So if you want to just do the light, the phone, and the cable, I'm good with that. But let's have a plan, going back to the communication, let's have a plan going forward so I know what I'm working so hard for, whether it be overtime, extra duty, side job, whatever. I know what I need to do to make our house sustainable. And so once we got that plan, and don't get me wrong, it would take maybe 2 or 3 years and it would change. It would change from time to time.
Yeah.
She may have gotten a raise, or I might not get as much overtime. For those that know our story, I went through a medical issue where I wasn't able to. I had a surgery and I was down, so I didn't make any overtime or anything extra for like 6 months. So that's when the financial situation changed. But you know, you got to communicate. You got to.
You know, and not just with the communication, but even when that happened, because we made a pact from day one that whatever we do it together. So even before marriage, you know, even before you said those vows of, you know, in sickness and in health and goodness, whatever. Even before that, TJ and Tab had already made a pact. Look, whatever we do, we're gonna do it together, and whatever we build, it's gonna be because we built it together.
Yes.
We did this together. So no, anything that God has blessed us with, it's because we did it together. You know, we were
Working
able to
your
progress from
plan.
having right. We were able to progress from having one car, riding together in one car, to now having too many cars in the driveway. You know, 3 cars. You got 2
3
cars
cars
in the
and 2
driveway,
motorcycles.
2 motorcycles, and 1 in the garage. I mean, like, too many that we have to decide, okay, well, who's going to drive that one today or that one this week? Well, it's so little. I don't want to drive it. TJ, I don't want to drive it. Okay, well, Tab, you have to drive the little car this week, the Corvette this week. Okay, well, fine. I'll drive it today. So, you know, but again, it was all about doing it
Or you
together.
can drive whichever one matches your outfit, because I know you got
Yeah,
matching
you know, it
bikinis.
depends, you know, because you know, there's this little thing I saw on the t-shirt. It said, you know, I'm a little bit of hood and a little bit of holy. Like, that's me, Ms.B. You know, I have, you know us New Yorkers, you know, no matter how old we get and how blessed we are, we still have that hood piece
Yes.
attached to us. So,
Yes.
you know, yeah. So, you know, when I have that little hood thing going on, you know, I decide, okay, what's going to match my swag today? You know, when I need to be bad and bougie, you know, what's going to match my swag
You can
on that
be
day?
that. You can be
Yeah.
that. But you know, in this process, what it sounds like is that he helped you to grow. Anita
Yes.
says that she agreed with him that you used to shut down something. So you didn't like something, you
Oh,
just
oh no,
shut
no.
down.
Oh,
Now
totally.
he has helped you grow out of that, and I bet
Voice.
it has showed up in every area of your life to make you a better woman.
Totally better. I mean, when I look back, TJ always say this. He'd be like, "Babe, like nobody could have ever told me 9 years ago we would be here." And I mean, we just hit our 9-year mark literally days ago. Married
Oh,
5 years,
congratulations.
but
Yeah.
nobody could have told me, coming from where I come from, that I would be here today. You know, and I totally give TJ like tons of credit for that, because TJ is wise beyond his years, as they say. You know, people don't know, but TJ is actually younger than me. He's 4 years younger than me. But when you talk to him or when you meet him, most people always think it's the opposite. You know, he's the older guy, but TJ is so wise and he's so smart, and he's the opposite of me in the sense that, you know, I'm the ready to pop off, or nope, I don't want to deal with that at all. And he like, well, babe, wait, now wait, like, oh, wait, just look at it from this perspective. And then when he's done talking, I'm like, oh, just, I mean, that simple. But
Wow.
coming from where I come from, that wasn't offered to me.
Mhm.
That wasn't an alternative. The only alternative was, it's you taking care of you and those 3 kids, and you got to figure it out on your own. And that's that. So you didn't have that sound voice. So I always tell people, like, he is my quote unquote gift, as most I call him. But like, TJ is really the calm to my storm. You know, he brings me back to
Yeah.
reality. You know, he keeps me from going off of the deep end. You know, and he's
Mhm.
like the rational one for the 2 of us.
Yes,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
beautiful. And
Yeah.
let me just say that Tab has said that to both Peggy and myself prior to marrying you, TJ.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
She
Yeah.
said that to us in private.
Yeah.
Wow.
In passing in the club. She said it to me at soiree when I was doing Thursday Live Vibe, and y'all was
Wow.
sitting at the
Wow.
table. And she would
Wow.
tell me, she said, "Girl, this man has changed my life." She said, "I'm telling you," she said, "I was ratchet, I was nothing, I was
Yeah.
nobody. And he
Yeah.
has," she said, "he is my everything."
Mhm.
Yep.
Wow. You
Just
know,
like that.
I used to tell Tab, you know, when we first started dating, and I went, you know, I won't go into detail, but I went through such a really, really bad divorce. I was so broken because all I wanted was to have my kids. The time that I spent with my kids, I coached them, cheerleading, take them to practice, pick them up from school. And so I was so broken that I really didn't feel that I was good for anything in a relationship. Like, I knew I was attracted to her. I knew I had some good qualities of a husband. But again, like she told you, I was married for 16 years. I got married at 20. You
Wow.
know, yeah, I got married at, so I was a baby. But I mean, I credit to my mom and dad for bringing me up, you know, with such a solid foundation. But Tab showed me that she loved me so much. Like, she would bring little gifts, you know, just out of the blue. And she'll tell you, I would get an attitude. I was like, you don't buy me nothing. Don't do that. Anything that I want, I get it for myself. I should be buying you gifts. And she was like, why do you do that? That's no, I buy you things. I love you. I care about you. If I want to buy something for you that's nice, I can do that. But you know, I had to learn how to receive because I was so used to giving. And so I told her, you know, she cared about me so much. It was scary because all the while, of course, I'm praying. And, you know, within myself is, this is your next wife. Don't mess this up. But again, I just didn't know. I like I told her and I told a few other people, and this is where men and women can mess some things up. Waiting on your children to accept your new relationship, you can miss out on the best thing that ever happened to you. And that's what I was starting to do. I was waiting on my kids to accept that dad has moved on, is really serious about the lady he's dating, and probably going to marry her. And they were just like totally rebellious. They didn't want to accept it. They wanted me to themselves. And they wouldn't be verbal with it because they were so young, but it was evident anytime they came around me and Tab. You know, to even this day, my son is 21 now, and he loves Tab now.
I bet he does.
Oh yeah. And I mean, they missed out on so much. But you know, even now, you're talking 9 years later, we're still repairing that. You know, I would have lost out.
Yeah, you would have missed out completely. Want to say hello to some more family members who have come into the building. Shout out to Monique Scott Nichols in the building.
Hey, Monique.
Hey, Mo. Woo, woo, woo. Women of Orlando in the building. We love having you here. And everybody is in agreement with you, saying that, you know, that you're better together. That when you're purpose partners together, then that helps you to progress as a family. And so, you know,
because it really, you know, being purpose partners, just seeing that comment, it basically makes you be on one accord. You know, I mean, most people that know us or have met us, you know, within these 9 years, usually will always say, if I see him, she's probably not far behind, or vice versa. And that's true. Unless we're going to work, Tab and TJ is most likely going to be together, or I'm somewhere close. If he's there on the motorcycle and I'm not, that means I'm coming in the car somewhere, you know, close. And so again, you know, that, but being together at that vulnerable place in TJ's, in both of our lives at that time, we were both vulnerable. TJ probably was a little more vulnerable than I was, but like I told him, I said, you know, everything that you needed from me, God gave it to me. Like, I didn't know I could be that nurturing and caring for a man, even though I loved you, but I was afraid to say it because I didn't want to add that pressure onto you. But whatever you needed, God equipped me with it. Like, but I prayed. I mean, like, literally, Ms.B, I used to literally drive to work when we were neighbors. I used to literally get in my car and drive to work, Ms.B. I wouldn't play the radio. It was just me and God. And I would pray every morning on my way to work. After TJ and I have already prayed. Because I didn't want to be in a place that wasn't purposed. You know, God, if this is not your purpose for me or for him, then remove us. You know what I'm saying? Without the hurt. You know, and as time progressed, as we went through different processes, of course, you know, it was evident that this was my husband and I was his wife, you know, and even times where our kids, you know, not just his kids, but my kids too, they got a little case of the butt, you know, but I'm different though, you know, I'm but I check hold up, what you're not going to do is, you know, and I realized early on though, that you can't live your life based on how your children feel. Now, some people are going to disagree with me on that. And the reason I said it is because at some point your kids going to grow up and they're going to be gone and they're going to do their own thing and they're going to forget about their mommy. And while mommy is over there single and miserable because she put her life on hold for you, now you've moved on, you've gone to college, you done met your man or your woman, You done got married now. You gave me grandbabies, and I'm single and lonely. Not gonna happen. But when I learned that, I was able to tell TJ that, like, listen, babe, I get how much you love your kids. I love mine the same. But what you can't do is put your life on hold with hopes that your children are gonna eventually agree to your new lifestyle. They may never agree. They may be 30 years old before they just say, okay, are you going to put your life on hold for that long? Well, let me tell you, Tab is not going to be here that long for you to figure that out.
I'm so happy that you said that you mentioned your age, that you mentioned your children, that you mentioned your previous relationships, because the reason why this show was born is because my girlfriend Peggy got really ticked off at this black man who has a show on YouTube who tells women that they are average at best and that they're going to die alone. The first thing he asks them is, what's your dress size? If you're bigger than a size 4 or 6, he already disqualifies you from being capable of getting a high value man. And anybody who's watching this show right now could tell that Tjay James is a high value man.
Okay. Absolutely.
And he says, once you're 35 or over, you're in the dead zone. By the time you're 40, if you have children and you're not married, whether you're divorced or just have the children on your own, he said, forget it. It's not going to happen for you. It's not possible. And we wanted to defy him in every area. We said that is absolutely a lie, and we're going to do a show to prove that is a bald-faced lie.
And Ms.B, we are living proof. Yeah. I am 49, which means I met TJ at 40. I was a size 12 when I met him. I'm a size 16 now.
Fine as wine, baby.
If I try to lose a pound, he frowns.
I got a problem with that.
I know you do, boo-boo. I know you do. When I say shout out.
I say we earned this. We earned it.
And I know that size 16 look good on the back of that motorcycle, baby.
Oh boy.
Want to say shout out to my sister twin, the Rochelle, the queen of controversy, known in the building, virtual building with us. And she says hey to everybody. And everybody is in agreement. Coco was saying earlier that they having to build a whole room to store their clothes.
Wow.
They all in the garage. They got, pretty soon they're gonna be sleeping in the kitchen.
Ms.B, let me help you one better. So God bless us with our forever home.
Yes.
TJ and I are the only two who live here, other than our 2 dogs. Well, we have, thank God, a 6-bedroom house, and 2 of those rooms are for closets. They are custom closets for us because
you have to. Because I've seen the shoe collection.
You saw
brother and sister, Mr. and Mrs.
Ms.B, I went in there today and I counted and I stopped at 380. I stopped.
Can you not go?
What is that? 358 what?
No, 380 shoes. I stopped counting.
380 shoes?
But why he in my closet counting?
I stopped counting because we still got the garage and a storage in this big house. And that's just the shoes. That's just the shoes.
I know.
That's just the shoes.
But I gave away boxes of shoes before we moved from the previous house.
Yeah.
I don't know how you can remember what to wear, what goes with what. But you got
to. That's the whole purpose of the closet thing, because you can see it. So now you know what you have versus it's all packed up, compact. You can't see anything, so you forget that you have this or that.
Yeah.
When you have it, when you have that room built in a closet, then you can see those shoes and you know what they are, even if they're in boxes. Like I know what my shoes are. Even if it's 300 of them, I can tell you what's in that box.
I hear
you, those outfits. And I remember I bought this shoe for that outfit. Okay, so that means that outfit. And if I had my closet color coordinated, so
I nicknamed her Sprouting for a reason.
She
always tells me it's my fault.
I know you did. Anitra Jones says, "Hello, fam."
Hi, sis.
Hello.
Hey. And that's my friend Pamela. She's a stepper out of Atlanta. She says, hey, she wants to say hello. that feelings are fleeting emotions. So you got to keep that in check. You
Oh
feel
yeah.
one
Yes,
way today,
absolutely.
Yeah.
a little bit later you're gonna feel different.
Oh, and let
Catherine
me
says that she said she agrees with you that the kids grow up and move on and forget about your happiness. So do you and be happy, and one day they'll understand.
let
And
me
then if
Right.
they don't, well, God bless them.
Right. I'm
can
with her. I
That
agree.
part.
can I chime in on that though? You know, it's a big part of the spouse, and I won't say male or female, but the spouse or the person on the other side of the parenting to recognize how sincere a mother may be to her children or a father
Mm-hmm.
may be to his children. So you're not going to be selfish and demand that you put me first. You're going to be sensitive to that relationship and encourage it to be positive. You know, I'm not going to watch my kids of our blended family take advantage of my wife. I'm not going to let them do that.
Mm-mm.
I tell mine, no, you're not going to kill my wife. You got to get out of here.
You
You can visit as
like go
often as you
somewhere with
want, but that's my wife. So here go them $25 or $50 for you to stay away.
that.
And that's all they want anyway is
Yeah,
money.
they just want some money. You know what I mean? But on a serious tip, you know, we have to make sure that we're conscious and sensitive of that relationship. Because I know
Mm-hmm.
my wife is a mother. So in her mind,
Mm-hmm.
she's a mother
Yeah.
first. So I have to
Mm-hmm.
be conscious of that. You know,
Right.
even though biblically she's my wife, but at the same time, I have to be sensitive that she is a
Those children
mom.
have needs.
She,
Mm-hmm.
and she has to process when she tells her sons no or her daughter no, our children
I
no.
do.
It's a battle with her, you know. But even once she finished that conversation, then I'm gonna positively interject
Reinforce.
and pour into her to say, hey babe, that's the last time we're gonna do that. And I make it a we thing.
Yes,
So that she understands she's not the only one hurting from this, but she's hurting us.
Mm-hmm.
And,
that's a
and
very good
fortunately,
point.
Ms. B, fortunately, my sons in particular are older. They're 28 now and 30. So, they're kind of getting it. They love TJ. I mean, have always loved TJ from the day, I introduced them to weeks later. TJ is their dad. I mean,
Right.
if everybody knows Tay. If Tay gets stopped by the police, TJ is Tay that like that's daddy. Period. If you mention Tay's biological father to him, he'll clearly tell you, no, that's my donor. He's not my father. TJ is my
Wow.
dad. TJ is my father.
Now,
And
mind you, you're talking about a young man. I came into Tay's life at what, 16,
he was eight.
17?
No, he was 17.
17 years old. You know, and all I wanted to do was instill in him, look, if I go to work and your mom go to work, son, you better figure something out because you're going to go to school or you're going to go to work. But you're
Right.
not going to stay up in my house and not do nothing. You know,
Right.
That
and
ain't happening.
it was a little process, but he saw that not was I just barking, but I was willing to pour into him as well. You know, so I paid for him to go to night school, but not only did I pay for it, I was taking him in my police car, dropping him
Wow.
off, and then picking him up. So
Wow.
you got to be willing to put your hand and your feet where your mouth is.
Yes,
And,
you
and
can
that
go all the way. You put your money and your time and
Yeah,
your energy where your mouth was.
yeah,
And the
and
best
that
way to do it is to show them by example.
right.
right, right.
And that kind of goes into that whole compromising piece. A lot of people say, I've heard a lot of people say, I don't want to meet a man who has children or a woman who has children. It's all about compromise.
That's very key.
Our C's are communication, compromise, and consistency. Those are like the most important pieces to us in a marriage. Like you have to compromise. Nope, everything is not going to be the way Tab wanted it always, or the way TJ
Mm-hmm.
wants it always. But if it's not, like I always tell TJ, if it's not a matter of life or death, look, we can work all of this out, all of it. Whatever it is,
Everything.
our children, our
Compromise.
house,
Absolutely.
whatever it is, it can be it could be talked about, which means communication,
But see,
and we can compromise about it. It's not that big of a deal.
but
TJ
it is
said
a
it
big
was funny
deal.
because
Don't
I'm
make
sorry.
light of that. It is a very big deal because a lot of times the problem is you have a person that's immature
Yeah,
and then they don't have the wisdom, they don't have the knowledge, the means to compromise, to communicate, to know that we are adults and we're trying to come to we're not trying to prove who's right. We're not
right?
trying to say you're right and I'm wrong. We're trying to figure out the best way to make this thing work
To
for
make us
us.
work.
And then see, and that, when you're dealing with a person that's immature, is not spiritually grounded, that's when you have all these the drama, the
Yeah,
arguments, fights. They haven't been through the experience to know what it's going to take to make things
yeah,
work.
which
Relationship.
goes which goes back to our original point was, being unequally yoked. One thing
Mm-hmm.
about it, early on in a relationship, when you start dating a person and you kind of get to know them, early on where they are, especially when it comes to spirituality. They're gonna tell you straight up.
but it's not just spirituality.
No, but it's not just spirituality, but it's the things like, for instance, TJ is sports fanatic. He's into football, he's into basketball, he's into all things sports. Well, me, Miss, just want to sit on the sideline and be cute. I don't want to do no sports. I don't even like sports. I never watched football, didn't understand
I
it.
gotta
But
make it funny right here, Ms.B. I used when we lived across the street from you, I was coaching AAU basketball and football. So Tab, being the loving spouse she is, would come and support. Do you know she would stay on her phone? She was there. I give it to her. She was there. But you know when she got excited? When my boys was about to fight, or they just made a big dunk or a touchdown. Then she'll get excited. She's watching.
because again, Ms. B, come on, you can relate. Okay, coming from where we come from, Ms. B, we get excited on stuff like that. We see a fight break out, or for instance, he'll tell you kickboxing is probably the one thing I can sit and watch
MMA.
all day. MMA, because it's so, I hate to say it's so brutal, but I love it. Like, it's exciting. It's like every movie I watch is only action movies because they shoot and killing, da da da. But if there's some excitement in it, if you just gonna throw the ball and I catch it and then get a touchdown without you tackling
She
me,
want to
it's
see
no
somebody
fun in
get
that.
knocked out. She want to see the big hit.
But Miss B, with that, I have progressed to knowing some of the plays now in football.
Teams.
I know the teams a little bit. I know when they throw the flag, why they threw it. So I'm learning.
So that's what we're saying is
It's a compromise.
that's a part of the compromise, in that. But what we were talking about as far as being equally yoked, have some common interests with one another.
Right.
You know what I mean? Okay, I might not go to church, but I'm going to support my wife going, and occasionally I'm going to go with her. That's a part of being equally yoked.
Yeah.
And she supported me with my sports. She supported my career. She could have. Oh, I got another funny story for you, Miss B. When we first met, so of course she didn't know what I did when we first met.
Oh, okay.
So I wanted to go to her job, and likewise, she wanted to know what was the deal with me. Because I never told her. I did tell her.
He told
I
me
told her I was a trash man.
Liar. Right, Miss B, right.
So it just so happened I was a detective at the time. And so when I went to her job, I'm like, oh, she got a real job.
He didn't check my credentials, Miss B is what he said. He said, after you told me what you did and where you worked, he said, I really had to kind of come see for myself. I said, okay, that's cool.
So while I'm downstairs waiting for her to come downstairs, I accidentally had my lanyard with my star and everything. And so she was like, you a cop? I was like, yeah. She was like, I heard y'all dogs.
I did. I heard that all police officers married.
No.
They got a bad rep.
He's a police officer, and he a Q dog.
Oh,
right now, so now he's a police, a Q dog. He's a Mason. He's been in the military, and I'm like, nah. I heard y'all all dogs, and look, I'm not interested if that's what you on, because I'm not the one. I'm not her.
Not with that. Not with the program.
Listen, I don't really know what you heard, but let me show you. Let me kind of prove to you that I'm not him. And I was like, whatever, okay. I hear you. Baby, I hear you.
I hear you. Hey, shout out to the Funks in the building. DJ Mellow Yellow, P Funk in the building. Yeah.
Hey, Mellow.
Yes, another superpower couple.
Absolutely.
All the superpower couples on the check-in tonight.
Absolutely.
Okay. They
Yes.
are.
So we've covered 5 of the 3, and I like what you call them, the 3 C's of a good relationship: communication, compromise, and being consistent. And it sounds like everything you all have laid out so far indicates that you do that in every area of your life.
We do.
Right.
So then comes number 4.
Woo! The big H word.
Yes.
That honesty. So, Ms.B, you know how people will say, well, tell me about yourself. Like, tell me where you've been, where you come from, that sort of thing. Well, me being me, Tab being Tab. I'm kind of an open book. I don't consider myself as a real private person. I mean, what I keep private, but, I'm me. So when we met, I wasn't born and raised in Florida, but I moved to Florida early, teenage age, whatever. And so I kind of told TJ, listen, this has been my life from that age to this age, and the reason I'm telling you all these things is because I never want anybody to be able to walk up to you and say this or that or the third, and you look, you have this dumb, this deer look on your face,
Right.
like a deer in headlights. And I never want anybody to be able to disrespect you with that. People are funny. People will think they know something that you don't know, and they try to use it and try to treat you any kind of way, or feel like they got something up on you. Got one up on you. Nah, bro, not she. So I told him everything is be like stuff that he probably really didn't want to know. And so he was like, he even said to me, he was like, I really thought like at one point you were trying to run me away. And I was like, no, I was just trying to keep it 100 because that's who I am. I'm an honest person. Don't ask me something unless you really want to know the truth.
Hello.
I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah, and it wasn't nothing to the extreme, Ms.B. But at the same time, we're together, and I didn't want to know, who she dated before or how many guys. And she didn't go, that far in detail. But she was just telling me, her meaningful relationships that didn't work out or whatever the case may be. And I was like, okay, typically, you don't have that kind of conversation. But she did, and she did it early on. And I told her, I said, I've already fallen in love with you. So are you trying? I felt like you're trying to run me off. Like, there's nothing you can tell me about your past or who you've been with that would make me not want to be with you now. And so, that meant a lot to her. And, she already knew my situation. I laid everything out on the line with where I was, what I was going through as far as my divorce. And, I really desired a relationship with my kids. And she made it known at that point in time. She was like, listen, even if we're not together later on down the line, I'm willing to be your friend and walk you through that process because I've been there. And that meant so much to me because I had no clue how to deal with this. What is life going to be like without my kids being in it? You know what I mean?
Yes.
And it was a big turning point for me in my life. But like she said, the honesty, you got to bring it.
You got to bring it. You got to bring it. And that,
even though it was shock treatment at first, I'm glad she did it early on.
Yes.
Because again, she eliminated someone from walking up and saying, "Oh man, you dating Tab? Oh, she used to be engaged to such and such and such." She had already laid everything out. So it was like, really? Man, get out of my face. I don't want to hear that.
Yeah, nobody can come in and throw a monkey wrench in that thing because you already know.
Right, because you already know. And that was major for me. You know what I'm saying? Not just because I hung out on the club scene, but just because you needed to know. You're the guy that I choose to be with, and I've already fallen in love with you, like he said. Now I trust you, so I'm willing to be, quote unquote, submissive to you without even being your wife. So you need to know, look, because, bro, if something pop off, we in this together.
Yeah. All the way.
I believe we in this together. You know what I'm saying? And I needed those people who either I dated or liked or what have you. I needed them to know that, bro, your time passed. That's done. So you can look, you can stare, you can do all that. I don't have eyes for nobody but TJ. Believe that.
And those are the kind of things that little by little tie you together and make the bond tight.
Mm-hmm. It does.
So there's nothing, not even the children, there's no space for anybody to get in there. The only thing that's between the two of you is God.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
Yes.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it, Ms.B.
And when you can get there, when you can do that, baby, you have done something.
Ms.B, let me tell you a quick story. There was a couple of years ago. My kids, not his so much, because we had already been going through processes with his, so we were kind of already, dealing with that, and that was kind of the norm. But my kids were, they love TJ. Everybody pro TJ. Our wedding pro TJ. Marriage pro TJ. Even to now, my oldest son, like one day I teased him. I was like, son, I called him Jit. I was like, Jit. I said, what would you say if I told you like me and your dad not gonna be together no more? He was like, Mom. He was like, I ain't gonna lie. He said, I got the utmost respect for you. He was like, Mama, I'm gonna have to fight you. And I was like, wait, fight me? Why me? He was like, cause if you and dad ain't together, it's something you did. But that says so much to me. My son is 30. That says so much because in his mind, his biological father wasn't there. And he didn't really have a father until he met TJ. And when he met TJ, he was already, I think, 20. You know what I'm saying? So in his mind, look.
He was a grown man.
Right. But in his mind, TJ is my dad, and he the best man for you. Ma, I know you. TJ is the best man for you. So if you try to leave TJ, Ma, you're going to have to see me, which I thought was hilarious. But a couple of years ago, it seemed like my three, Tjay, Devontae, and Tab, it seemed like they were tag teaming me, Ms.B. I promise you. But the one thing I knew for sure is because TJ and I so close, y'all can do whatever y'all want to do. And it's hard and it hurt, but we good over here. So y'all keep on with the bark. And of course it fizzled out and, it went away. But that was a trying time for me as a mom. But the one thing is I knew sure that I had, if nothing more, was TJ.
Wow. That's beautiful. Cheryl Walker is in the building. She got a shout out.
Cheryl.
Also want to say hello to Gracie Blount. She says, come through, Auntie Tab. Come through, baby.
Hi, Niecy Poo. So those are newlyweds, Ms.B. And they totally
congratulations.
Look up to TJ and I, and they pull on us. And
that's our new adopted niece and nephew over there.
And they're like newlyweds, like a couple of months old.
Yeah.
Oh, that is beautiful. God bless your love. That's a beautiful thing. Thank you for joining us, Gracie. And and Pamela is just loving y'all. She's just loving y'all.
Thanks, Pam.
She is co-signing on everything that you are sharing with us tonight. So we've got communication, the ability to compromise, to be consistent, and how important honesty is. And then last but not least of the top 5 tips to a great relationship is your
language. You have to know how each other needs to be loved, and that was something new for me and TJ. Like TJ said early on, when I would buy him things, like he would really get an attitude. And I'm like, wait a minute, you buy me stuff? Why can't I buy you stuff? And he's like, look, whatever I want, I'll buy it myself. I said, well, look, you my man, and if I want to buy it for you, I'm buying it for you. And what you gonna do? Nothing. But what we had to learn was we had to learn each other's language. TJ is the guy who really likes affirmation. He likes to touch. He wants to know inwardly that I love him with everything in me. So whatever that means, I needed to show him a note, a text message. Hey babe, was just thinking about you today. How's your day going? That's TJ. He's, if some people would call it simple. It ain't all that simple if that's not the way your love language is. Because that wasn't simple for me. Simple for me was, let me just go buy you something. Because guess what? That's what I like. So when TJ come home with it could be as simple as, at that time, Pepsi was my thing. If you brought me a Pepsi, I'm going to love you to the ends of the earth. Ms.B, I woke up to drinking a Pepsi and I went to sleep every night to drinking a Pepsi.
Get out.
So that was, look, if TJ came home with a Pepsi, a can, or a 16-ounce, cold, oh, I know you love me. But it was that simple for me. But that's my love language. Not just telling me you love me, showing me you love me, but doing something. My thing is, love is what it does. You can say it all day, but show me that you love me. And in our situation, I needed him to show me that he loved me the way I needed to be loved, and vice versa. I need to show him that I love him the way he needs it. And a lot of people are in marriages and relationships and don't understand that.
Right.
There's a book called The Five Love Languages. Read it, people.
Yeah.
Read it. We read it.
Yeah.
We took the little survey so that we could
Yes.
understand.
Yes.
When you learn that person's love language, I promise you, if you do those other four things, and that fifth thing is learning that person's love language, man.
Hey, look, I'm gonna get a guys another tip. I didn't believe it for a long time until we got together. Know your partner's sign. Understand their triggers. You gotta learn that too. When you know that person's sign and you see it confirmed in their personality and their associates, their family members, it'll reveal a lot to you. I mean,
Wow.
my wife is a Cancer, and she would always say, I'm the crab. I'm hard on the outside, but I'm mushy on the inside. And I couldn't understand that. But when she would get upset, here comes the shutdown. I'm shielding everybody out and away from me. But if you get in, you good. But you got to crack that shell first.
You got to crack that shell.
Yeah. But what's beautiful about us, Ms.B. Like I tell people, I tell my Q Dog friends, my co-workers at work, they're like, hey man, we going over here, we're gonna do this or whatever. And I tell them, my motorcycle club, I'm like, okay. They're like, I know you gotta check in. I'm like, I just let my wife know where I'm at. I'm good. I don't have those problems. So what people see on the outside, that's really how Tab and TJ are. We're happy.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't have to put on for nobody.
Right.
Like I said in one of my posts recently, I wake up happily married every day. Don't mean that we don't face adversity, but we're happily married.
I told Tab, I said, when I meet a man that writes about me the way you write about her, there are 2 posts on your page, TJ. The one you did for Valentine's Day, and then there's one that you did, just a little bit before that. And what you said about her, the way you honored her publicly in those posts, I have never seen before. And I told her, I said, "Ooh, baby girl, when somebody says that about me, I will know beyond a shadow of a doubt that I have been blessed to be connected with the right one."
Yes.
Because he has no shame, is unapologetically in love with you.
Yes, and gave you the.
And like I tell my wife, her exterior, I tell my wife all the time. And early on, I told her, like I said in the earlier interview, I didn't chase after the pretty girl, the fine, this, that, and the other. I wasn't that guy. I needed you to be beautiful on the inside. And that's what sustains us. It's the beauty on the inside. When I see how empathetic, my wife is and genuine towards and caring towards other people, their situations, my wife will literally, in that 380 shoes up there, she'll take someone that she just met and tell them to pick what they want.
Because she's a giver.
She's a giver.
I am.
She's a
That's
giver.
That's part of the trait of a Cancer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They are very, very giving people. And I like, TJ, that you said that you tell all of your male friends, hey, this is just what I do. Listen, nobody makes me check in. That's my woman. That's the love of my life. It's important to me that she knows where I am. I'm not carrying on no shenanigans. I'm not trying to, get a quick hookup or to sneak off and see my side piece.
Right.
Or
it's an honor to call her and check in.
But again, it goes back to that trust.
That's an honor.
I trust TJ. Like I told him, I said, look, can't nobody come tell me nothing about you. Period, point blank. It could be totally true. But the way that I trust you, I feel like God is going to show me whatever I need to see or whatever I need to know.
He'll reveal it.
They can't come to me. But bigger picture, I trust you. And I know that you love me enough to not hurt me, not intentionally hurt me.
Listen, Ms. B, I'm gonna say this, and everybody, this ain't everybody's story, but I can honestly, from day one to this day, my wife takes good care of me. And I ain't talking about just loving. I'm talking about making sure my clothes are clean. And I don't require, she'll tell you, I don't require her cooking and all that other kind of stuff because of my work. Most of the time, I'm already have eaten before I get home. But when I tell you, my wife would have made me a meal. My wife, still to this day, folding my drawers, It's those little things that I didn't have, before, meeting my wife. That was like, wow, she really really loves me the way I love her, and that's a beautiful feeling when you can receive love the way you give it.
Yeah,
Oh, it's a beautiful thing.
beautiful
But
thing. Yeah.
kind of closing to what TJ said, you take care of what you love. If you love him, like I tell people all day, TJ's responsibility is to go to work, take care of these dogs, and take the trash out. Period. I don't require him to mop the floor, wash a dish, do laundry, because he don't know how to do none of that. He know how to wash dishes now, but I don't require him to do that. So if he does it, he'll say, I literally say, hey, wow, babe, thanks for washing dishes. And he'll look at me like, really? I'm like, no, babe, like, you really didn't have to wash the dishes. Like, you didn't. You know what I'm saying? Because that's not a requirement. Like, I don't expect you to do that. What I expect you to do, you do. You go to work, you take care of the dogs, you take the trash out. I'm not touching trash. That's not my job.
Right.
But anything that pertains to this house, sweeping, mopping, laundry, whatever, that's my job. And if I don't feel like I want to do it, I pay somebody else to do it.
Hello.
I just try to show, with washing this, just doing some of the extra. I just try to show my wife I don't want her beat down and burn out. So I can't cook, but I'll order something out and try and make it look like I cooked it.
Yeah, he tried that. That was cute.
We love that. Mello says that if that's that 910 Church of God in you, girl.
Correct. Yes, Mello. Yeah, girl, you know.
You already know. Well, listen, it has been such a delight sharing this time with you. We initially started out, I told him, I said, listen, I'm not going to keep you all night. We can go as long as we want to. We don't have any restrictions on the show. I said, but we'll talk for about 45 minutes or so and get you out of here before 10 o'clock. Just for the record, it is 12 minutes after 10 p.m. Eastern time.
And we have enjoyed every second.
Yes.
Thank you for having us, Miss Peggy, Ms.B. Thank you for having us, because we've always said that we are pro-marriage, we are pro-committed relationships. So, I'm always encouraging, my single male friends, hey, bring your lady with you. I want her to know that when you with me, you're not doing no foolishness. I'm not about that. So again, thank y'all for having us. And we just want to share our love story. It's so much that we've experienced in these 9 years. Tab and I recovered from COVID.
9 years?
It's 9 years already, Miss Peggy. Right.
9 years?
Married.
Wow, it seemed like yesterday.
Yep.
Yeah. And it's so much that we've overcame adversity. We've gotten over COVID, my major surgery, and Tab sicknesses, and we've seen and grown so much in the 9 years. So we're excited about what God is doing, and thank you again for having us.
Well, you're welcome. It is certainly our pleasure and our delight, because as far as we're concerned, Black love matters.
Absolutely.
It is important.
Yes.
And getting this word out, and you all sharing your story gives people hope.
Yes.
That they can connect to their faith. While they are believing in God to deliver the same, because He is no respecter of persons.
Nope.
And if He did it for you, He can do it for them.
And one last note, ladies, wait. Don't move beyond him finding you. I saw a post the other day, and the lady said, I need this, and this, and this. And I just shook my head. I'm like, no. Whoever God has for you, He will find you. Trust me. I was not looking for TJ. I didn't go to that Super Bowl party thinking I was going to meet a TJ. I was not interested in looking for a TJ. I was good. In my mind, I was good. And here comes a TJ. And so I tell anybody that really knows me and knows, as Miss Peggy said, from then to now, seeing the growth, if God could send a guy like TJ to love a person like me, He can definitely do it for you.
Most definitely. And on that beautiful love note, We thank you so much for being with us. We appreciate it greatly. And
Yes.
we just say blessings on blessings on blessings for you
Thank
and
you,
your
thank you, thank
family.
you.
Have a beautiful rest of your evening. Thank you to
Absolutely.
all of our family and friends who were in the virtual building with us tonight. We
Yes,
appreciate it
thank you.
greatly. Peggy, is there anything that you wanted to share before we say goodnight?
This was just so heartfelt and just wonderful to hear. Like I said, I met Tabby years ago in the club.
Yeah.
We're not close friends, but whenever we see each other, we
Yep.
have a great love and respect for each other. She know I love her to death. But
I
we're
love
not,
you too,
we
Miss
don't talk,
Peggy.
talk, talk all the time. But this has just touched my heart so much to know you guys are just doing so awesome, doing so
Thank you.
wonderful. I just
Thank
want
you.
God to continue to bless you guys and keep lifting you higher and higher. So
Thank you.
no, I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that love will find me because
It
I'm
will.
single
Yep.
and I've been single off and on, for a while. But yeah, God is good and just keep doing what you're doing. Just keep being
Yep.
blessed. Keep being you. You're touching a lot of
Absolutely.
people's lives and you don't even know it.
Wow.
Hmm.
Wow.
Yes,
Yes.
and everyone says that they enjoyed the program. They just loved the way you shared, and their lives were enriched as
Yes.
a result. So you did a wonderful wonderful thing here tonight, and we
Thank
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 you.
you
you.
so much for being with us.
Yes,
So
Thank
thank
you,
you
Ms. B.
you're welcome. You're welcome, my love. And we'll be keeping up with you on Facebook and enjoying every moment of it.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay. So you have a good night. God bless you. Have a good night.
God
All
bless
right,
you
you too.
guys.
Bye
All
bye.
right, darling. Y'all take care. Okay. So, once again, thank you all. Remember that you can join us live on Facebook at Raw Talk. We invite you to like and follow that page. Also, you can see the broadcast live and in its repeated stage on YouTube. We are Real as Women Talk, REALAS Women Raw Talk on YouTube. When you get there, please subscribe, smash that notification bell, um, give us a good like sign, a comment, and share. So until
You know
next
what?
Wednesday,
Wait a
yes,
minute, girlfriend. I think we would be remiss if we end this live broadcast right now because we're gonna have a lot of juiciness to talk about when we end this broadcast. So let's just chop it up, but just for maybe a few more minutes because
okay, what is it you want to talk about?
remember this morning we talked on the phone for a good hour and something, and I was like, that word love is so vast and so deep. It's just a basket and an ocean of stuff, and who can really define what love is? And just listening to them and hearing their story and how they communicate with each other and trust each other. And it just, like I said, it just was
Yes,
so refreshing to hear and to know that love does exist. Love is real. And
yes,
we was trying to say, is it something that you do in the bedroom? Is it something that you do? Is it the way he treats you, things he buy for you, what he does? It's a combination of everything. It's
yes,
just that maturity. It's that grown man, that grown woman vibe, that maturity of having been married and going through turmoil and going
yes,
through possibly because I was married for 12 years with my husband for 14, two beautiful children, divorced, you know, back out in the dating scene for a little bit in a long relationship. And like I said, love is just it is beautiful. It's
it's
beautiful.
beautiful. And they are living proof that we can have it. And
Yes.
you and I both started out this year saying we're going to wipe the slate clean. We're going to pay attention to getting every aspect in our lives in order. Our spiritual walk, our finances, our health, putting everything in order so that we can be ready for the man that God sends for us. He'll be able to recognize his wife because we are working on being that good wife. And so when he sees us, he's not going to just see some woman that he's sexually attracted to. He's going to see the woman that he wants for his wife. He will recognize you. Yours will recognize you, mine will recognize me, we will recognize one another. And it's an important thing to do. So while you are waiting, you get yourself ready to be the greatest, grandest image of yourself that you can be, so that you are prepared for the best that God has for you. Period.
Absolutely.
you
And
know,
this shows you, we're going to have a panel. We are talking about having a panel of gentlemen in
yes,
March. And we're going to have them on, and they're going to help us and answer some questions about love and romance, and why it is that men cheat, and why is it that they're in their 50s and 60s and they're still running around like clowns, and doing everything under the sun but what is right and correct and respectable and honorable to their spouse or
yes,
significant other. And it just shows me, like I said, there are some awesome men still left out there that
yes,
know how to love you right, that know how to come to you correctly. Because, like I said, it's like in the dating game, dating it seemed like it just got so far out of whack from what it used to be, until it's like just wild and crazy. Like you don't even want no parts of it. That's why we were kind of exploring the online dating, and we had a couple of couples come in and talk to us about meeting online. So I was thinking about going online and maybe doing the online dating thing, but
yes.
like I said, I stepped back from that, and I'm like, I'm good, I'm cool, I'm still just gonna chill and do my thing like I always do. Just he's gonna find me when it's
Yes.
time. Just do the work in the meantime. But I just enjoyed that so much.
I did too. Shout out to my dear friend Crystal, who joined us later on in the show. Love you too, boo boo kitty cat. And everybody agreed that it was just a fabulous show, and that they learned so much from it. And so
Oh,
we're going to see how things progress as we go on. So look forward to the all male panel coming up in March, where ladies will have a safe zone to ask men all of everything they always wanted to know about what men like and want, and why they do what they do.
mhm.
Oh my goodness.
Yes,
Yes, indeed. Yeah, and Brandy says, "Don't look for love. It's so much better when it just shows up and takes you by
yes,
surprise, because
absolutely.
that will happen. You sure doggone right there, Brandy. We love you for that, and appreciate you being a part of the show and all of your input. So,
Yes, absolutely.
girlfriend Peggy, it was
Yes,
it was a blast. It was absolutely wonderful, and I'm
yes,
so happy that we were able to do this together tonight.
yes, me too.
Yes. So on behalf of girlfriend Peggy and yours truly, me, Miss B, we'll see you next Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern, all the way live on Facebook and on YouTube. I'm Miss B.
I'm
Love you,
girl.
baby. And that's girlfriend Peggy. Yes, ma'am.